Can you guys just both tell us a little bit about what attracted you to the show originally?
So what drew me to the show was that it was a fun, it initially looked like a fun show just about these cute little peg characters in medieval times.
Right.
And then I found out that it was dirty. I found out later how dirty it was. So for me, it was initially that draw. And I think for Luke, it was more about being able to use his voice in a different way. He talked about Merriman not living in his body. He has 1,000 voices in him, but he had never found this particular voice.
Right.
So it was fun for him to kind of craft a new version of use another version of his voice. I'm telling them why you were drawn to the show, Luke.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. It was,
Yeah.
and it was funny finding the voice in the first place, because you're putting a voice to a piece of wood, like, that has the only thing that moves on him is his mustache.
Yeah.
These two little things, it was a really fun challenge to put a voice to him, and then try and get through 10 episodes without losing your voice, because it was not an easy character's voice. I was talking out there the whole time. It's not where I speak.
Yeah, that
so
is a lot. Gosh.
but it was fun. It was very fun.
Have either of you had experience doing voice acting, and how is it different from live acting?
You go first, Luke.
Yeah.
I'll jump in until he comes back. I have done a lot of voice acting class. Are you there, Luke?
I did.
Go ahead, Luke. You're there. Go.
I'm here.
You're here.
Hi.
Go.
What was the question?
Have you done a lot of
I'm
voiceover
so
work?
sorry.
No, honey, don't feel
Yes,
bad.
I've done loads. Yeah, I've done. My first voiceover stuff was doing supermarkets on television and cat food. Yeah, I did. I was a voiceover thing, and I did a few years of that. And then I was invited to do Robot Chicken a couple of times, and that was very, very fun.
Right.
Because you play several different characters in each episode, and I did a few episodes of that. I've done a few animations. I have a big animation coming out. I'm not sure when it is, but it's a huge musical. And then I did a superhero cat in a feature length. So I've loved it. I mean, it all started with Avenue Q for me, which I was in when I was in theater, and I got to do different voices in that, like Trekkie Monster and all this stuff. And
I know you were
doing all those characters. So yeah, it's, to me, this is a dream job. I mean, I've always loved doing voices and finding the right voice for the right thing. And so yeah, it was a gift. I'm very happy I got to do it.
Yeah, and it's funny that he mentioned Robot Chicken. When I first started doing voiceover, I was terrified and I wanted to do Robot Chicken, but Seth Green, who also is a part of our show, told me that I had to have more than just one voice. And I said, well, I can't do it yet. I ain't got my stuff together yet. So when I got to do Super Mansion with Robot Chicken and now doing Crossing Swords as part of that family, it makes me very happy. I do a lot of shows on Disney. I usually live in the PG and PG-13 space. So Crossing Swords is a little different for me. But yeah, I've done a lot of animation too.
I actually wanted to ask you, your character is so different from I know you as Shirley. So did you have to do anything to get into character for your character in the show?
No, because Sergeant Megan is pretty authoritative. Right. And my friends will say that I'm very bossy myself. So what I had to discover about her is just finding that sergeant voice, and you squaws, there's a lot of that. I always play Sergeant Megan as if she's a Baptist preacher. And if you listen to the show now and listen to me, you can imagine her behind the pulpit giving a sermon. That's how she speaks to the squires. So yeah, I grew up in church, so that part was easy for me.
Antonio, please tell me that you think I'm very different to King Merriman as well.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yes.
Otherwise, I won't be able to go to work ever.
No. I think I remember seeing you in The Hobbit, right? And you're much different character. The Hobbit is in itself a medieval movie. Did you have to look at any kings in specific to get into your character?
No.
No,
I just had a long conversation with John and read the first episode, saw an image of the character. I saw some previs images and went away and spent maybe a couple of hours going through different dialect, different accent. I thought maybe he could be British, could be a Cockney, could be posh.
Okay.
And then this voice came out, and I thought, this is him, man, mother, he's just this guy,
Right.
and then it just sort of worked. And then I've sort of played on it and developed it. Like, both Yvette and I were talking about, the fact that you stay with a character, you develop, you find the fun things that work and the sounds and it's the animation is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you put the voices on the top and they come alive, considering they are just little wood pegs,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. So thank you so much for your answers. I appreciate it. And have a good rest of your day.
You too, Annie.
Thank you.
Thank you.